I'm going to go down to the local police station, not only with the possibility of getting hung, lynched, or all that on the way. I'm going to report something that I saw in the sky, which will give the others power to say, this dude is really crazy. We can just lock him up in a straitjacket. Why do we want to reach the people of color? Why is it so significant? Why is it a conversation? I would be more than happy to answer that for you. And it's not about calling you out or nothing, but it's not a bad question if you want to know. And maybe I should just talk about it. If you look out through history, and I want you to really think about what I'm saying to you, and you have to put on a cultural lens to understand where I'm going with this. There's a segment in history where the African American community was seen lesser than a lot of other communities. And hence we had slavery and also once desegregation, all of this time period. And you have to understand that in this particular time period, the only resource or where you would report a UFO was the local police station. There was no, MUFONs and all of this places. There was the local police stations, okay? And don't get me wrong, you could have been white in this era, and if you talked about UFOs, you were seen less in the white community being white. So imagine where the black community laid in those conversations. Okay. So having said that, then I stumbled upon that there was a lot of people that had experiences. Let's use the military. There were black people in the military after slavery in all of that part that was on the same boats, that worked at the same airfields. Some flew planes, and I'll get to that story for you in just a minute. That some of those stories in history was not told because there was no place to go, and it was even ridiculed higher being of color to say, I'm going to go down to the local police station, not only with the possibility of getting hung, lynched, or all that on the way, but at the same time, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to report something that I saw in the sky, which will give the others power to say, this dude is really crazy. We can just lock him up in a straitjacket, he or she. And so a lot of that stuff was not going to go down. But more and more I talk to other people, they start telling their grandfather's stories, their uncle's story. I'm like, why we don't hear about this? Now, okay, everybody always throw out the Betty and Barney Hill scenario. It was an interracial couple, people. It had a 50-50 chance. You get what I'm saying? It had 50-50 equation to it, and it wasn't 100% African-American story. And it had been, it would probably been suppressed and thought as ludicrous as it could be. So they had a prestige that allowed them, thank God, to be able to be seen. So there's a series of stories, and I'm saying we don't know where they are. We know that they exist. And so therefore, 2023, as the catalyst, as the agenda, we're going to get those stories. We need them. Now, this helps the entire community. It helps the entire community. So when we take that half of those other stories and we add them to what we know, it goes in. So let me give you a starting point.